Seeing Angela Wonsu's video reminded me of something I thought I've forgotten. Honestly, that video really broke something in me because it wasn't only her story I was hearing. I was also remembering mine. Sometimes the way girls are treated in the society, growing up can make you feel like being a girl is a punishment. Yes, I know what I'm talking about. Because I lived through things as a girl child when I was growing up that I still struggle with till today. I could remember when I was pregnant with my first daughter. I already had two boys then. When I went to the scan, the sonographer said the gender of the baby, like the sex of the baby, cannot be revealed because her legs were closed, that they couldn't see her gender. And when I went home, I was just praying, God, please let it be another boy. Let it not be a girl child. Not because I hate girls, God forbid. I don't hate girls, but because of I know what I went through when I was growing up as a girl child. So when I finally had my baby, that night when the nurses told me it was a baby girl, I kept silent and I cried inside of me. I broke down in tears, but nobody knew. It was only me that knew what was happening to me that night, because I didn't want my daughter to grow up experiencing the things I experienced as a girl child, because I knew the things that I have gone through. I knew the things that wounded me, and I didn't want my daughter or daughters to get even a little experience of it all. I didn't want that. And people thought I was crying because I was overwhelmed with happiness that after giving birth to two boys, I finally had a girl. But it wasn't so. It was another thing for me. Looking at the little girl, I was saying, God, please don't let her experience what I've experienced. Don't let her struggle with what I struggled. Like, I was just crying and they thought it was tears of joy. And even up to today, when I see my daughters, especially my first daughter, because now she's 7, when I see her growing, as I see her growing, something happens inside of me. Seeing her grow up keeps awakening things I thought I had already forgotten, because I know what is coming. One day she will grow and start seeing her monthly flow. She will need a sanitary pad, she will need underwear, she will need bra, she will need what other growing girl child wants or needs. Sometimes I look at her and my biggest fear is, will I be able to provide all these things for her? Because I remember my own time, my own self. I remember needing something as basic as a sanitary pad and being told that by my mom that during their own time they used pieces, but right in front of me, my elder brother will come looking for money, asking her for money, sometimes 8,000. And can you imagine, a pad, always pad then was 150 naira. But my elder brother will come asking for 1,000 or 2,000, even more, and she will give it to me. But for me, my 150 for a pad, nobody gives to me. And many people will say it's only money, but it's not only money. It was what that little girl of then understood. She kept watching and understood what was happening. And you know, those things don't always disappear when you grow up, not at that kind of age. Sometimes they follow you when you grow up. Sometimes they affect the kind of decision you make or you are making at that moment. Sometimes they affect the kind of the mistakes you make. And those things I made a lot of mistakes that I couldn't correct. Some mistakes that I made then, I still live in with them. I still live in the mistakes. They can't be corrected. And sometimes I wonder how much of my life was affected through those things I saw as a little girl then. That is why Angela's story touched me so deeply. Like, it broke something in me. And I also looked at her life and said, God really blessed her with a loving husband. Because after everything she experienced growing up, and she ended up with a man that only brought another phase and stage of pain and torture to her, where would she be today? I don't know. I'm not saying that a woman's happiness depends on her husband. But if you are coming from a difficult family, a good husband make a difference. It can help you heal. It can help you start overcoming the traumas. It can give you another reason to live. But in my own life, I can't say everything turned out that way. I am not free with my family. My in-laws is not something I can talk about. Even my relationship with my man is not that smooth. The only people I have today are my children. Only my children. They are the only people I have today. My children are the only reason I am still standing here today. They are the only reason I am still alive. When I see my daughter, I don't just see my daughter. I don't just see a 7-year-old girl growing. I see myself in her. Sometimes, instead of being happy that she's growing, I become sad. I become afraid of what tomorrow will be. Because I know that one day she will get to the age that she will need those things, those basic things that I struggle to get. My prayer is, please, God, let my children inherit my struggle. Don't ever let them experience what I experienced in life. Please, God, give me the strength and the resources to provide whatsoever they need in life. Because I don't want my daughters to grow up feeling like their needs are too much for me, or that they become a burden to me. And honestly, I thought I'd forgotten all these things, but Angela's story opened the door again. Angela's story made me realize I hadn't forgotten any of them. And everything came rushing back. The trauma is still there. Though I have forgiven people, I have forgiven them. And maybe that is what some people don't understand about trauma. You might have forgiven the people that caused it, but the pains is still there. The damage is still there. You can smile, you can laugh, you can become a mother someday. You can still do things, but that little girl that still remembers what she had gone through is still there. So Angela, I don't know you personally, but your story opened up mine. And I want to say this from the bottom of my heart. I am proud of you for surviving. For every woman who grew up with pains nobody knew about, I just want you to know that you are not weak. Because I can feel the pain. Some things still hurt. Maybe you're carrying a story that you're still trying to heal from. For me, if one day I finally have the courage to tell my story, I don't know how many people will understand it. But maybe I will tell it anyway. Not to revenge, not to destroy anybody. But somehow, somewhere, somebody out there, somebody somewhere will need to learn from it. All women carry these pains alone. Please, I want you to know that you are not alone. God will really help us. God will see us through. We will all heal from this.